Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a chopping video to share with you. It has been requested. Please do check out my chopping, what is it? Or I think it was, I don't remember what I titled it. I did a video already getting us to the point that we're at right now with Bath & Body Works candles. So that video showed and explained to you that I freeze my 3-wick candles, which all of these are. I just throw them in I have a big deep freeze, so anyway, I have a big deep freeze, so I throw them in there. I have so much wax, I don't have to worry about it. The longer the better, I suggest, versus just overnight. I feel the longer that the candles themselves are in the freezer will help the glue. These are all off, I'll explain in a sec, but the glue from the 3 wicks separate from, because there's the contraction with the freezing cold. It'll separate away from the wax and the jar a lot better the longer you put them in. So these ones were in for 3 weeks. Again, it doesn't have to be that long, but I would definitely say more than just overnight or a couple nights. I give it like a week. Just forget about it kind of thing. Forget about it. So that video explained exactly that. And I also showed you how I removed the wicks. So please do go see that video. The wicks are very easy. Once I take the jar, which is full, it's cold, it's out of the freezer, I place them on paper towels and I literally take the lid off, flip it upside down and give it a good tap. And generally, 9 times out of 10, the candle comes right away from the jar, which is perfect. Then I put them aside overnight, just leave them like so, because I like to do that right before bed, because then I leave them out all night and they have crackling, and you'll see there's really not a lot of chopping method to madness when it comes to 3-wick candles from Bath & Body Works, because when you've taken the candle out of the freezer, taken it away from or out of the jar, you leave it out there for, what I like to do is leave it for room temperature, which is why I leave it and do it what am I trying to say? I let it sit on my counter overnight while I'm sleeping. So it's the longest amount of time. So during that time, it crackles and it cracks because now it's expanding. It just contracted being cold and now it's expanding, hence why there's cracks, just like we have it on our roads from the winter to spring and things like that for those of us who have frost wedging or frost heaving. No different than icebergs kind of thing, like melting and caving, or calving, sorry. So anyway, all right. So then I remove the wicks with a sharp knife, just flip the candle upside down where the 3 wicks kind of were, and I just jab it and pull it out and the goo comes off of it, and I just put that's garbage. I don't need that anymore. And then we're at this stage. So now the candle's not frozen anymore. The wicks have been removed, and you can see, as we'll get there, it's slowly, because of the the expansion, it started to fall apart on its own. These Bath & Body Works candles don't look pretty when you chop them because, again, they've already kind of cracked a bit on their own. So I don't use my wavy. I have a wavy knife cutter as well, but or silk cutter, which you can use obviously for candles. You can use any knife as long as it's sharp, really. And if you want, I would suggest, if you can, make it your knife for wax cutting if you plan on doing this in the future, rather than using it for your meat or whatever. So this is just a straight edge. I do have the wavy one, but like I say, I think that the wavy ones look great in loaves and things like that. So I try not to use that as much. So this is where we're at. We are at 6 different candles here that have thawed, and I've removed the wicks. And what I've done too is L3 Waxy Wonders. I've mentioned this before. I buy their large bakery bags. They have a couple different sizes. It does have the window through here, which I like. Where I store, or how I store my wax, it doesn't get too messy, but I will say I do agree these tabs can get, if you use them over and over again, they can break, and that can get annoying. So I do like the looks of the bag. So if I really felt like it down the road, like if I found a bag that I'd used the wax time and time again, and because you're rolling it down, and then these little tabs have broken, I still might take the wax out, put it into a polypropylene, and still stick it back in here, because I really love I removed, and again, that other video will show you, I removed the sticker once everything's thawed out, the sticker from the Bath & Body Works candle, and apply it to the bag itself. So it's really super easy. Like I said, I just have a method to my madness, I guess. I still say I will stick behind it. The longer you leave your wax in your freezer, be patient, the better. So I did pose the question on my Insta story on Instagram, like asking anybody to have questions for me. I also went onto my Snapchat. Everything's always linked down below. No one actually asked me anything on Snapchat at all. So I'm getting everything from Instagram Insta story. So technically I have 3 people who asked a question, but one person, and you know who you are and you'll find out pretty quick, asked 2 questions, but that's cool. So I'm only going to chop the candles to the point, I think, where my conversation's done. Like, I only have 6 of these, so it's not a big deal. What I will tell you is today I will be chopping, Bath & Body Works Harvest Peaches, which is simple, fresh, and good, as it states. We have a vanilla bean, pink pineapple, which I have to say has made my kitchen smell very lovely. I really love that smell, as well as I'm gonna feel like I've got a couple loaves of Princess Monaco from Vintage Chic Scents coming, which is lemon marshmallow or lemon curd and marshmallow, and I got the pure white cotton candle for blending purposes or for my bathroom. I think that smelling this candle now, I think this would be blended really, really well with that VCS loaf. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And we've got London. Now this is the winter version. I think I have I have a spring one for Throwback Thursday, but London tea and lemon. And lastly, another one that's making my kitchen smell amazing, which is mango coconut. So what I'm gonna do here, let's see, let's do the vanilla bean one first. So the first, see, look at that. See, this chunk I would just leave and let it be. Let it be, and I don't mess. If it falls apart, it falls apart, right? So we'll do, this is the vanilla bean. All right. So Shuzanne, I think that's Shuzanne. She asked, when I only burn candles, I notice I'm coughing. Now that you have become a melting convert, do you feel like your lungs are thanking you? Soot is starting to make me think more about burning versus melting, which is a really good question. And it's funny, she made me think. She really got me thinking. And I will say, when I was in the peak of my burning candles, I would burn 2 in my grape room, 1 in my bedroom, 1 in the bathroom, and maybe 1 in the spare bedroom. And my walls were absolutely disgusting, dirty. I had to change my filters a lot more often. And I can say like I was coughing, but I can't say for certain if that was the reason why. But when she talks about soot, yes, I found that it created a lot of soot. Sorry, again, with Bath & Body Works, I don't microwave them. They just are hard wax, but they're fine because I'm never gonna make them pretty anyway. So with that said, it's funny. And you'll see down the road, I get a lot of people going, I miss your candle reviews. The funny thing is I do still burn candles, and we'll talk about that in a question down the road. I don't burn them like I used to. There's a few vendors I like in candles, which is like Root Candle. I like theirs. DW Home. There's a few different ones that I really like. But anyway, I'll answer a little bit more to that towards the end. But that is to answer your question. I don't know about the coughing. I can't tell you if that's the reason why I would cough every once in a while. But what I can share with you is check your filters. I would have to change my filter every month, and it would be as dirty as it is now, where I'm burning much less, as you know. And I only change my filter like once every 3 months, I think are supposed to now. And it's about as dirty as it was within a month. And my walls, I've washed my walls in my place a few times when I was burning, and it's really gross. Disgusting. Very disappointed in candles in general. Clearly, this is why I'm chopping. I'm very disappointed in candle quality. And I am definitely more of the quality versus quantity gal with candles. So I know what I like since I've been burning candles for years, many years prior to me making videos. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I hope that helps. I'm just reading the question again. I think I got it. So that's up to you as individuals, why you may try it. But yeah, I still burn candles. You guys probably, those of you who actually follow me for any struggle, you follow me. You know I burn candles. Like more than half of my Throwback Thursday selections are candles as well. But again, we'll talk a little bit more about that down the road. Okay, so these, like I said, they're not the prettiest. They don't cut the prettiest. Oh, sorry, that's loud. Okay, so my friend Kim, great name by the way. I know yours is Kimberly, spelled differently than mine, but Kimberly in general and Kim is just the best name ever. Just saying. Not that I'm biased at all. Okay, so before I go to the next question from Kim, I'm just gonna try to slide these. Oh, they're so heavy. That's another nice thing about chopping up candles. I don't have to worry about performance or lack thereof issues with Bath & Body Works candles when I chop them up, but I get 14.5 ounces of my favorite scents. And I can blend them with other things. So before I go to the next question, we're doing Harvest Peaches. Lots of there. All right, so Kim Hearts Organizing, or Kim, she asked me 2 questions, that sneaky lady. Okay, so her first question is, what vendor would you like to try and why haven't you? I don't know. I think I'm with her. I know I follow Kim Hearts Organizing on Instagram as well as YouTube. I'm with her. Now that I've been melting a year and a half, I know which vendors I want to stick with. I don't want to venture out too much. I don't really know because I'm not venturing out anywhere. I don't know necessarily what's out there. I do see some of my friends like Kim hauling different things from different vendors, but again, like I'm like, oh, do they sell to Canada? Do they ship to Canada? That's the thing. So I'd say that I've received some wonderful random act of kindnesses from friends of mine, and in them I've got a whole bunch. That's how I've tried some new to me vendors. But I know it wouldn't be new to me, but a vendor that I would love to, 2 vendors I would love to purchase from down the road, but they're like freaking Hunger Games, like even worse than VCS or Vintage Chic Scents. And that's Swanky and oh, sorry, there's wax on my fingers. Swanky and, oh, what was the other one? Shoot. Oh, Candles from the Keeping Room. Love their wax. Everything that people have gifted me of both those companies' waxes have been stellar, but they don't ship. I don't think they ship outside of Canada, and it is freaking hard to get your hands on. Even if they ever restock, if you seriously, honestly, aren't on there within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it's like these little companies don't make enough, or people are buying them out completely and not leaving anything for us layman people. Because what I've melted from Candles from the Keeping Room and Swanky's has been fantastic. Highly recommend their wax, except for the fact that it's really hard to get. Not as hard as things like Glitterati, but but it's really, really difficult. A lot of my friends can attest because they've been trying to get like things like Candles from the Keeping Room and unsuccessful because, well, again, if you're not on there within like 2 seconds, I swear to God, like, see you later, you're not gonna get it. All right, so, oh my gosh, 14.5 ounces of wax, people. This is why I love doing this. So good. Totally recommend it. Especially, the thing is again, I will keep talking about this. With my candles, like a lot of the candles, I have burnt so many candles, especially Bath & Body Works, in my years of burning and whatnot, that I get to the 50% mark and then it's like, it smells like kerosene and I feel like I've wasted my money. Whereas if I can chop these up and enjoy it throughout my entire home, no sit issues, nothing wrong with that. I have 14.5 ounces of it. I can blend it with other things. What is negative about that? My negativity towards candles that like I said, Bath and Body Works has really gone downhill when it comes to quality. I used to be a person who had 160, close to 200 3-wick candles at one point. And now I'm slowly dwindling down. Like I'm burning some, I'm cutting some up. And my goal is to get through them. Is to either get them as gifts or get through them. And only buy, like the pink pineapple, I bought 2 of those. One I've still got as a candle, and this one's been obviously taken apart. I only bought 1 mango coconut, 1 pure white cotton, but if they still had it, it is White Barn, so I'm hoping they still do. I'd probably buy more because this is a beautiful bathroom scent. I will buy 2 if I really like something, whereas I used to buy like 4 or 5, and now I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Anyway, so sorry, Kim, that probably didn't answer your question because I just don't know what vendors to even try, and I really, like I'm happy with the ones that I like. I've started, now that we've got a couple, thank goodness, we've got a couple Canadian wax vendors here in Canada who save so much shipping. Like you guys in the States have no idea how much it costs. Those of you who don't ship to me, like my friends know how much it costs to send a box to me. And it's only worthwhile to send a box of wax to me because I have a VCS restock at my friend Heather's house that's been with her for just after Christmas. And I don't care. Like I have patience. Clearly I have patience because I have to. Oh yeah, this is, sorry, pure white cotton. And because I refuse to pay for shipping to me to fill a box until that box is full. So until I order other things, and other vendors or pre-orders or what have you, I don't want to send that thing because it costs $64 US just to send it to me. And then it seems like more than half the time now, I also get dinged on customs. The most I've ever paid for customs in Canadian dollars was just under $35. So on top of the wax that's inside there, which is generally a few $100s, then there's the cost of the box to send to me, which is 60, like it increased it, so that's 64, 65 bucks now. Plus, you don't have to, but generally I think once I'm in the system, I'm done. Customs of like extra dollars, that becomes a very expensive box. So I am so happy we have a couple of vendors here in Canada that are active. I've mentioned them before, Tallulah and Poe, and also Mandala Melts. So those 2 ladies, girl power, first of all, and the fact that they're Canadian. And she's able to swing, was it Sam from Mandala Melts? She was able to swing some crazy, and she said, typical Canadian, she was like apologizing on her Facebook page one day because I guess she found a really good shipping rate to the US, but it's even better than it is to ship within our own country. And it's like, so she's like apologizing to us Canadians, and because we all know, I think she gets a lot of her oils from the States. She understands too how the cost of shipping. So that's one of the main reasons why I haven't tried a new vendor, who have wanted to try but haven't tried, because most of the vendors are in the US and it is really difficult to get here. And a lot of US vendors don't ship outside of their own country. Not all, but some of them don't. And I feel like they're missing out on a lot of wasted opportunities for international. And I know they say get a mailbox and stuff, but you know what? If people are willing to pay for it, I don't see why we can't offer it, but that's just my opinion. And I have some amazing friends, as you guys know, who allow me to either order with them or I'll place an order and have it sent to their house, and then they just, I pay them and they send it back to me here in Canada. So, wow, that was really, really, and I haven't had coffee, you guys. I have not had any of that coffee. There's no coffee in there, but I have not had coffee today, so there you go. The second part of Kim Hart's organizing question, sorry. Which vendor do you naturally gravitate towards? I would have to say, if the word naturally, which to me in my brain says kind of who I have the most of, who have I ordered from the most, i.e. because I really like them and I think they're great, I'd have to say is Super Tarts. And Super Tarts I made my first big order with any real vendor. It wasn't my first vendor order, but it was a first big order back in February of 2017, so just over a year ago, with Super Tarts. And what I liked about it is she has so many different scents, and it's open all the time, so the ease of being able to buy anything is very good. So I gravitated to them because of the ease. The cost of shipping, though, is ridiculous. Like, you know that advent calendar? Okay, I had fun with it. I really did. I love it. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The advent calendar, I think it was $45 US. To ship it to me was over $50 US. So it cost me more to ship it to me than it did for me to buy the advent calendar. And unfortunately, because, oops, there's wax all over the place. And unfortunately, because I feel like the advent calendars weren't done like super early. If I was early enough that they were done, I would have had it sent to a friend of mine, and then they would have just sent it to me for a lot cheaper, even with like the sending it twice. And well, they would have been a lot cheaper, but I wouldn't have gotten it before the 1st of December. So that was a little bit frustrating. But anyway, Super Tarts has an extensive list. They're open 24/7, except for when they are down for maintenance mode, which means that they're like, you know, filling a new collection, or they're going to have a restock that night, that kind of thing. But they're generally really good about letting you know that on their Facebook page. I love their collections, especially if you're a collector, like Harry Potter or Twilight or any of that stuff. It's kind of cool. But I like, because she's got a really good nose. Like, she's got a blending machine. She's really good at what she does. So, and what's funny is, like, I'm on Vancouver Island in Canada, and where her shop is like, people on a map would be like, oh, we should just go there for the day. No, it'd be a weekend trip, because I have to drive an hour and a half south to get over on, then go through customs, then I gotta take a 2.5-hour ferry ride to the US. And then it's probably like about another hour or so to drive to her, oh shoot, this thing busted. An hour and a half to drive to her like shop. So yeah, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. So, and with border crossings and all that stuff, never fun. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. See, this is just fun times, people, fun times. Sorry, I don't mean to be wasting paper towel, but you know what? I'm just gonna do this over here. Look at the mess I made. It takes me like a week. Like, I'll clean this sucker, but it takes so long to clean because the wax is wax. All right. So that answers your question, Kim. Which vendor do I naturally gravitate towards? I will say it is Super Tarts. Next on the chopping block is a mango coconut. I'm actually, I was only on one. Let's see. Let's press our luck. See if I can do this without falling all over the place. So Lisa is a Leo, a fellow Canadian, a friend of mine. She just had a baby last July, so she used to have her own channel prior to getting married and having a baby. Life changes, right? And this is what she says. Why don't you burn candles anymore? I loved your candle review videos. I can be honest and say I watched your channel more than as opposed to now that it's all wax. Well, and I can appreciate that, because you're not the only one who's either messaged me, DM'd me about the change in my channel. But let's be honest, I think that most of us who either burn candles mostly or melt wax, it's because you love whatever method you are using, right? If I loved candles still, I would only burn candles. But when I was introduced to vendor wax, an entire world opened up for me. It doesn't take as much room to store wax. I don't have to worry about sooting, the smell of kerosene in my house, fire hazards, just all that stuff. But as I said before, I still burn candles, and you guys know that. I still burn candles. I just don't burn as many. I probably still have like 60 plus 3-wick candles that I have not chopped or anything. They're from Bath & Body Works in my collection. I'm still burning. And my Throwback Thursdays have, like I said, this spring one has mostly candles. Well, I shouldn't say mostly, but a good chunk of them are candles. Oh, this is getting messy. But again, the quality, Bath & Body Works is what I had the most of, and I've said that before, but the quality control has gone down tremendously. Here's another thing. I want to watch these Homeworks candle reviews. I got asked, you know, it's closed on Facebook, but you can join the Harry Slatkin fan page, and that was super nice. Drew asked if I wanted to join. I said yes, but I have to say, because Harry Slatkin, if you guys don't know, he was the one during the era, the pinnacle, the height of Bath & Body Works, the quality amazingness at Bath & Body Works was during when he was at his stay at Bath & Body Works. Instead of White Barn Collection, they were Slatkin candles, and they were really good. Like I said, I've been burning candles from Bath & Body Works since like 2013. They were really good, but the problem is that because he's exclusive to the United States QVC, there's no shipping anywhere else other than the States. And because of the cost of the shipping, because the candles are beautifully packaged on heavy-duty glass, it would cost me way too much money to have it shipped to me here in Canada. And I've had my friends offer to send me some, and I keep saying like, no, thank you very much, because the cost is just ridiculous. It's scary, actually. Again, another thing is he's not a vendor, but yet we can't get his candles. I think that he'd have a niche in the market here in Canada or internationally if we could just send it, but because he's with QVC exclusively, it makes it really, well, I guess impossible for him to be able to do that. So it just frustrates me that I'd love to try his candles, and like I said, people have offered to send me one, and I'm just like, no, I'm good, because I want to be able to buy it. I want to be able to say, hey, I'm Canadian, I was able to buy it. Because like I said, I used to, got London Tea and Lemon. I used to burn his candles all the time. I'm huge into Bath & Body Works. When my local city brought in a Bath & Body Works, I started buying, and this is way before my channel, beginning of my channel. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm just frustrated that someone who I supported quite well, might I add, because, you know, I supported his candles, I can't get them here, and it's so sad. It really is. And again, like, of course, like, I have amazing friends who've offered. I don't want to spend $40 US to ship 2 candles to me, which the candles are not cheap, which is fine. I don't mind if it's quality. From what I'm hearing, the quality is very high. But to Canada, it's just too much money for all of that. So that's where my frustration is with the kind of thing. Oh my gosh, I'm like totally ranting, and I don't mean to, because like I say, I feel like I supported Harry Slatkin so much in the days of Bath & Body Works and Slatkin era there, and I very much agree with so many reviewers who do and either get his candles for free for reviewing, which is great. I think like Root Candle was the first candle company to ever reach out to me and ask me if I'd like to review a candle. I thought that was amazing, and man, how special do you feel? And I'm sure all those people are very special. They feel very special that there's a lot, and I'm hoping, and again, I'm not watching a lot of them, I'm hoping that the people who receive the candles from Harry and his crew versus purchase them, I'm really hoping that they're telling you that, because I know that a bunch of people are getting them from the company, and I really hope that they're disclosing that, because you got to be honest. You got to be honest with the people. And I think it's great. Like I said, I think it's great that companies are reaching out to you, like social media, like YouTube, Instagram. Snapchat's a little weird. We'll say it's more of a difficult, Snapchat's more difficult for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I think it's great. I hope people are authentic and that they tell you right away that they're getting them versus purchasing them. If you don't hear them say they're purchasing, I'd ask, right? And it's only fair to disclose that to your subscribers. And I love the fact that people who only have like a small amount, like I think when Root Candle sent me my first candle for a review, I think I may have had 1,000 viewers or subscribers, and I was so tickled. So it's so nice to see some even smaller YouTubers that are growing, receiving opportunities like I have. I think that's fantastic. But I just wish some of these companies would ship to Canada, ship internationally. Again, for those in the States, and like 91% of the people who are subscribed to my channel are from the United States. I get that analytic, I can see that. It is so expensive. I am literally on the other, on the map, it looks like I'm literally on the other side of the border in Canada here. It costs so much money. And so yeah. So you have to really love wax. And of course, with wax melts, I want to make sure I love them to pay that kind of money and wait all that time. And I think that's probably it. That's all the questions I had. So actually, I'm rambling a lot. So that's why I'm done shopping and still talking, which you're probably turned off by now. Anyway, thank you to Suzanne, Kim at Kim Hearts Organizing, and Lisa is a Leo for all your questions. I hope I answered them the best I could. And yeah, I imagine I will do more candles probably in the summertime. And I'll show you like where I'm stashing all of these little bagged candles, like bagged wax and things like that down the road. So as always, you guys, thank you so much for your patience and listening to my ramble/rant, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, as always, you guys, be safe, take care, and have fun.